So now we're swinging our sword like a hoodlum. Let's set up our animation montage a little bit so we actually blend into a more natural looking sword holding pose. So in the player folder, in our player anim blueprint, first we got to set up the blend space. Let's right click under animation, blend space. We don't want the 1D on this one, we want the full one. So I'm going to set my skeleton, and this is the melee underscore BS blend space. And now for the horizontal axis, horizontal is for left to right. Yeah, that is our direction. I was so confused for a second. So for the horizontal, the left to right, we want the minimum axis value to be -180 and the maximum to be 180. And we're going to go ahead and set this to 8 on the grid divisions, because we're going to update this later on to have some different walking and stuff, just to be a little bit nicer. But for now this will work. So we'll do our snap to grid, and on the vertical axis this will be our speed. And for now, do we have sword and shield run? We got run in all directions. Run forward, run back. Yeah. Alright, so we'll do 500 for now. And similarly on grid divisions, 8. And snap to grid also, that'll let us line up on these points real nice. So we want our sword and shield idle all along the bottom. Just like this, all the way, every point across the bottom, we are idling. No matter which direction we were just moving from, we go back straight to an idle. So now we are going to set our sword and shield walk, that looks like forward, to here. Let's see, strafing. I'm going to get these backwards probably, but I'm going to set this strafe here. She's moving right there, but she's moving towards the left here. That should be fine. So this is the other strafe. I'll set it here. I'm skipping one gap in between because when we go back and fix this later on, we'll set a walk forward right, walk forward left, etc. right here. So let's see, walk backwards on the very ends whenever we're moving in the -180 or 180. And then we'll do the same thing and move it up just a little bit. So I'm going to set at 187 that we're moving backwards. I'm going to drop this down. So I'm moving the animations we just set, I'm moving them down one row, just so it'll be a little bit smoother going from 0 to nothing, or 0 to full speed. Now walk forward right above the walk forward. This is the strafe over here. And this is the strafe right here. And then walk backwards right here. So right in between here, we're walking at full speed, but not getting any faster. So once we start getting above that is when we'll start moving into our run animations. So this is the running strafe that'll go here. Let's see, this is the strafe that goes here. This is going to be a pain if I get this backwards. And then we got our run forward and our run backwards, just like that. So now in our animation blueprint, we can go in here, and in our state machine, we will add a state called melee. In our event graph, we'll go to our sequence and add a pin. Let's copy and paste our cast and get pawn owner, just like that. And for the player base, we will just do, let's see, if weapon is drawn. So get weapon drawn. Then we'll right click and promote that to a variable. It'll automatically name it for us and we're good to go just like that. Base to melee. Oh yeah. So now we need to set up our transition rules, which is what we needed this for. So going from our base pose to melee, we want to go if our weapon is drawn. Oh. And we're going to drag one arrow back to base. Open up that, and we want to go back to our base pose if melee drawn is not registering. So let's check it out. She's T-posing. Oh, because I'm dumb. Let's actually go into the melee pose. Get the melee blend space we just set up. And then we can punch in our direction and our speed. Then she shifts. She's running forward. She's able to swing her sword. But we can't test the other thing yet. So let's go up into our equip weapon. Equip weapon. And here, after we're saying we have weapon drawn, let's get our character movement and set orient rotation to movement. We will set that to false. And set use controller desired rotation. We will set that to true. So what this does is when we're orienting our rotation to movement, it's how when we're running in circles, she turns to face the direction she's running. When we use controller desired rotation, we're basically turning in relation to where our mouse or our thumbstick is turning us, the right thumbstick for the gamepad. So now I'm going to jump out here and play. Okay. So now you see, I did get them backwards, damn it. That's easy to fix. Let's go into our blend space, and I'm just going to take this one here and this one here, grab the ones from the left and move them to where the ones on the right were at, and then finish moving these over to the left. I always get those backwards. So now we're running around. This is why we're going to replace this later on, because this looks like trash. But we're able to do what we need to do. And let's check it on the multiplayer real quick. Cool, very cool. Oh, right. So now we need to actually set going back to our regular movement. That's my gamepad. So we want to set this to be here. We can use that here. And for the orient rotation and movement, we will do a select and punch in that weapon drawn. So if the weapon is not drawn, we will say yes, orient rotation and movement. And if it is drawn, then we'll say don't rotate to movement. This one can be matching, because when weapon drawn, we want to be facing the direction where our mouse is going. So let's see. So yeah, there we go. Neat. So in the next one, we'll finish up that third attack and make it to where she doesn't glide around. And then we'll start moving on to the tool usage, and I will see y'all in a bit.